What's up, everybody? It's Jordan, and welcome to the Sports 2 Time Show. Today is September 8th, 2021. This video, I'm trying to finish this series of doing some record predictions for each NFL team. The NFL season starts tomorrow. It is crazy. It does not seem like it's, already this fast, coming up and everything. And the game is the Dallas Cowboys going up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that is actually the team I'll be doing this video of. The record prediction is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Super Bowl defending champs. They got all their starters from last season back, which is just absolutely ridiculous. So let's go ahead and get started here. Tomorrow's game matchup against the Dallas Cowboys, I have them winning here. I feel like this might be close, but the main issue and the reason I have the Buccaneers, winning this game against Dallas is because I think it's going to take time for Dak Prescott to kind of go back to his full self again. Last season with his horrific injury, I feel like it's going to take a couple weeks for him to, fully play at his level like he's capable of playing. Some people don't want Dak Prescott even playing tomorrow, which, to me, I can understand why you don't want to take a chance rushing him in there, taking a chance of getting hurt again. But just with, Tampa Bay's defense, they ended the season last year on a super high note, shutting down Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense. I kind of expect a somewhat similar situation tomorrow. I do expect them to win tomorrow. They start off 1-0, excuse me. Week 2, they host the Atlanta Falcons. I have them winning this game. I feel like this game should be pretty easy, in my opinion. As of right now, I think the Falcons are the worst team in the NFC South. They have Matt Ryan. Ridley, I think, is going to be a star this year. Kyle Pitts is going to be phenomenal. But aside from that, they really don't have anybody that really stands out. They don't have a great defense. Obviously, the Buccaneers have a great offense. I wouldn't be surprised, if the Buccaneers scored, 35, something like that in this game here. They get an easy win against Atlanta. Week 3 at the LA Rams. This is interesting, and I feel like this is going to be NFC Championship game, eventual rematch. These teams played each other last year, and the Rams actually defeated the Buccaneers on primetime football, and that's with Jared Goff starting, which to me, I keep going back. Like, if Jared Goff took the Rams to the Super Bowl and throws for over 4,000 yards, imagine what the Rams are going to do with Matthew Stafford. Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp are the most underrated wide receiver duo in the NFL, in my opinion, right now. They have a great defense, Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. I feel like, this Rams team will give the Buccaneers some fits and problems in this game. I actually have the Buccaneers losing this game. It's only going to be one of the few times they lose this season, in my opinion. It's going to be a great game. Would not be surprised this is a possible game of the year candidate. But with this loss, the Buccaneers dropped to 2-1. Week 4, the most highly anticipated regular season matchup this year. You can make a case one of the most highly anticipated regular season matchups of all time. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers head to New England. Tom Brady's revenge game against the Patriots, which is just crazy. Like, nobody ever thought this was going to happen, especially coming off a Super Bowl victory, his first year with the Buccaneers. This is just absolutely insane. I expect, the Patriots to play amazing. This is going to be a close game, but ultimately, I feel like Brady will end up getting his revenge against the New England Patriots in this game. They get the win here, and they improve to 3-1 on the year. Week 5, they host the Miami Dolphins. I have them winning this game. The Dolphins are a good team, but they cannot be good teams until you see more consistency out of Tua Tagovailoa. I do not trust Tua to win me big games, and I especially don't trust Tua winning a game against the defending champs, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I feel like their defense with, Barrett, Devin White, all those guys, they're going to make Tua struggle. It's going to be a long day for the Dolphins. Tampa Bay wins this one easy. And speaking of winning games easy, Week 6 at Philadelphia. This is an easy game here. Probably their easiest game of their schedule. Looking at the schedule, in my opinion, it probably is their easiest game. The Eagles are one of the worst teams in the league. In my opinion, they probably have the second worst roster in the NFL. They gave up 65 sacks last year. Don't be surprised if the Buccaneers have 5 or 6 sacks in this game. Jalen Hurts, Minshew, Flacco, whoever's going to be starting at this point for Philadelphia, they're going to struggle a lot. Tampa Bay will win this one easy. Week 7, the Buccaneers will get their revenge against the Bears. last season losing on primetime football against the Bears, which looking back is just absolutely crazy. And it goes to show, on these predictions, I always say every single team will lose one game that they shouldn't. And, that was the Buccaneers last season losing to Chicago. This is interesting because we're going to see more than likely Justin Fields against this Tampa Bay defense. I'm really interested to see how Fields performs. I don't think he's going to be good against this Tampa Bay defense. They're very good. I mean, if they stopped Patrick Mahomes and then made him look silly, imagine what they're going to do with Justin Fields, who is yet to take a NFL start. Tampa Bay wins this one easy, and they improve to 6-1. Week 8, Jameis Winston tries to get his revenge against the Buccaneers, and he will fail in this one by not getting the win. Winston was the starting quarterback for the Buccaneers before they brought in Tom Brady and really shocked the whole NFL. And I'm interested in this one. I feel like this won't really be close, though, because the Saints are one of those teams who are going to struggle. They've lost to quite a few players on defense. Michael Thomas starts the season on the PUP list, and he also was traded, so who knows with that whole situation. But I feel like the Buccaneers will kind of win this one pretty easily here. They improved to 7-1 on the season. So week 9 is their bye week. Heading into the bye week, they're 7-1. Very, very impressive for the defending champs. At this point, heading into this bye week, really looking like they're able to possibly repeat as Super Bowl champions. As we continue here, week 10 at Washington. I know some people think, Washington might win this game. They're not going to. I don't think this is going to be close. I mentioned in a video recently, my main issue with the Washington football team is Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's a glorified average quarterback who can throw for 400 yards. And all these highlights you see of Fitzpatrick, 75% of the time, the reason they're in that position coming back from behind is because he, put that team in that spot. He cannot win big games. He cannot win games in general. His winning percentage is very low as a starter. He's going to struggle against this Tampa Bay defense. Tampa Bay will win this one easily. This might be a low-scoring game, but I still think Tampa Bay will win this one very, very easily. Week 11, hosting New York Giants. They'll get this one here. Speaking of inconsistent quarterbacks, I mentioned Fitzpatrick. Daniel Jones is basically the definition of an inconsistent quarterback. He's a turnover machine. He's going to have a couple of turnovers in this game. The Buccaneers will win this one easily against the Giants and improve to 9-1. Week 12 at the Indianapolis Colts. I have the Buccaneers losing. I feel like they might end up losing this game because the Colts have a very underrated offense. They have a great defense, led by one of the best linebackers in the league, and Darius Leonard. They have a really nice running back who I think is going to be good, and Jonathan Taylor. Quentin Nelson is a phenomenal offensive lineman. I think Carson Wentz is going to surprise some people. I think he's a dark horse to be in the MVP conversation. Pairing him with his offense coordinator in Philadelphia, Frank Wright, who's the head coach in Indy now, feel like, they're going to surprise some people. And this being in Indianapolis does have a big factor in, winning the Tampa Bay Buccaneers losing this game. Wouldn't be surprised if the Buccaneers would win this game, but it's kind of one of those games where, I say every single team has that one game they shouldn't lose, and they do. This is the Buccaneers losing to the Colts here in Week 12. They dropped to 9-2. Week 13 at Atlanta, this is going to be an easy game, like I mentioned. The Atlanta defense really has nobody who's able to contain this Buccaneers offense. The Buccaneers will probably blow out the Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers will probably blow out the Falcons both games here in their first and second meeting. With this victory, they improved to 10-2. Week 14, they get a home victory here against the Buffalo Bills. Some people think this is a possible Super Bowl preview. That's interesting, and I wouldn't be completely shocked if it were to be true. Tom Brady, best quarterback of all time. He's been the best quarterback of, this past decade and a half. Then you got Josh Allen, who has potential to be one of the best quarterbacks for the next decade or so. This should be a great game. I wouldn't be surprised if Tampa Bay maybe slips up and loses here. But I do have them winning here to improve to 11-2 on the season. Week 15, a home game against the New Orleans Saints. I have them winning here. Winston goes back to Tampa Bay for the first time as a starter. I still think the Buccaneers will win this one. Just, with The Saints, you don't know what the whole Michael Thomas situation is going to be like. And aside from Thomas, the only person on offense you have is Alvin Kamara. So I think this will be a long day for the New Orleans here. They get a loss, and Tampa Bay gets a win to improve to 12-2 on the season. Week 16 at Carolina. I think this is going to be closer than people think. I think Carolina is the second best team in the NFC South. I think they're a playoff contender. I'm very excited for their offense. Joe Brady is a quarterback whisperer. He made Joe Burrow one of the best quarterbacks of all time in college. Brings in Sam Darnold, who had all this hype around him a couple years ago. During his time with New York. Christian McCaffrey, the best running back in the league. DJ Moore, the most underrated receiver in the NFL. Robbie Anderson, who Sam Darnold has experience playing with during his time with New York. And they also have Terrace Marshall Jr., who was at LSU when Joe Brady was there as well. I think the Buccaneers will win this game here, but this is going to be closer than people think. I wouldn't be surprised if this maybe like a 3-point game or something like that. Let's continue here. Week 17 at the Jets. This is an interesting game. Zach Wilson is exactly half the age as Tom Brady. They have the same birthday. Tom Brady, I believe, is 42, and Zach Wilson's 21 or something like that. But Tom Brady is exactly double age of Zach Wilson. And this is just an interesting game. Tom Brady, who's been the star of the NFL for years. And then you have Zach Wilson, who I think has potential to be a star potentially in the NFL for years to come. This is going to be I think this might be a little bit closer game than people think. I've said before, the Jets are not going to get many wins, but I think they're going to be much, much, much more competitive than people think. Despite me thinking this game being competitive, I still think Tampa Bay will win this one and improve to 14-2. The final game, they lose to Carolina because I believe they're going to rest their starters for the playoffs. So my record prediction for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the regular season is 14-3. My ceiling for them is 15-2, and my floor for them, at the worst case scenario, is 12-5, and that was actually their record last season. Tampa Bay, don't be surprised if we see them in the Super Bowl again. Don't be surprised if they end up winning the Super Bowl again. Should be a great year for Tampa Bay. They play tomorrow against Dallas, which is just absolutely crazy. Cannot wait for it. That about does it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you liked the video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. And I will see you all next time on the Sports Behind Show.